When I first arrived in Arariboia as a humble missionary, I despaired at the savages. They knew no God.
Empe, au yabete. Urak te Sara.
Yero que sawa. Emba emo yangara. Ishe ai kokatu. Emba emo yangara.
Emba motar. Tere mi motar upi se peñara. Emba sopa kutana. Emba motar. Motar se peñara. Embe. Emba sopa kutana. Wari nenamo. Emba motar. Tere mi motar kutana.
Empe. Au ye. Ishe ai kokatu. Yero que sawa. Emo yangara.
Mba emonyangara.
Tere mi motar sopa kutana. Embe. Emba motar. A sopa kutana. Tere mi motar upi. Emba motar. Embe. Tere mi motar se peñara.
Ishe ai kokatu. Eikove. Au yabete. Empe. Mba mongaturon.
We have rescued all the refugees we could.
Au ye.
Hurry to the shore! We may not see our homes again for a long time, but one day we will take back what is ours.
Tere mi motar upi. Emba
Despite his decades of experience, Arariboia made the mistake of a young warrior by vastly underestimating his enemy. Instead of averting the crisis, he had led his people deeper into it. Skulking through the jungle, bitter and disappointed, he fantasized about shooting a poisoned arrow straight through Kunambebe's heart. Still, he knew that revenge would have to wait. The survival of his tribe was all that mattered now. They had to escape before Kunambebe caught up to them. As he led his men towards the edge of the island, Arariboia swore that this would not be the last time they saw their home. Arariboia had not chosen this corner of the island as a refuge on a whim. There was a Portuguese trading post here, one he and his father had often visited in his youth. They offered fine metal tools for trade and, perhaps, a safe haven for his tribe. If only he had something to trade for his people's freedom. But what could he offer? Was it even wise to bargain with these powerful foreigners from a position of weakness? As Kunambebe's shouts of "traitor" echoed in his ears, his desperation threatened to overwhelm him. He pushed his doubts aside as the trading post came into view between the trees. If his own people deemed him a traitor, so be it. Better that they stay alive and angry than dead and silent.
Our only hope for survival is to reach the Portuguese trading post. Hurry! And watch out for Kunhabebe's warriors.
There is no escape, Arariboia! You can never outrun my hatred!
Se peñara.
I come to you on bended knee, Governor General. Our peoples have always been friendly. And now, we are threatened with extermination by our enemies. You are our only hope.
I have not forgotten your amiable conduct with us, Arariboia. Take these transport ships and choose one of the locations marked on this map. They will serve as a temporary shelter. Sail like the devil.
These two tribes have offered us their services, my chieftain. We should decide which of them we want to recruit. This tribe will now fight for us.
The jungle here is Kunhambebe's domain. To survive, we must subjugate the tribes allied to him by killing the chiefs.
You truly are a coward beyond compare! I pity those who have bound themselves to your sinking canoe!
I have led my people to disaster. But all I can do now is focus on surviving. Let us build a new home here, on the mainland.
Caramba! If I knew the jungle would be crawling with hostiles, I would have brought more bullets! Ready the sails! We must abandon this trading post!
Your pasty saviors turned tail and ran at the first sight of my army! Who's the fool now, Arariboia?
This will be our base of operations, until we can reclaim our home from Kunhambebe. Let us destroy his stronghold in the area, and prove that the Maracajá are still a force to be reckoned with.
Some of my naval officers were shipwrecked after a chaotic escape from the trading post. Could you bring them back to me, Arariboia? I promise to make it worth your while. We had to abandon some of our cannons when Kunambebe stormed that trading post. If you can recapture them, I will let you borrow them to deal with his stronghold. I doubt a barbarian like him would know how to use them anyway.
Emba Moyangara.
Awayabete.
Tere mi motara rupi. Ninamo.
Eikove.
Tere mi motara rupi.
Ishe ai kokatu. Iberake tensara.
Empe.
Tere mi motara rupi. Asokwe.
Baepe. Bae Monhangara. Eikove.
Asokwe kotuna. Iberake tensara.
Ishe Aikokatu.
Tekasara.
Empe. Tekasara. Tekasara.
Embae se peñara.
Eikove.
Yero ke sawa. Anye. Awiye. Asokwe kotuna.
Empe. Urakte Sara. Baepe.
Anye. Imba emo yangara.
Embae peri motara.
I would happily die to protect my people. But today is not the day I leave this world. Patch me up and get me back in the fight.
Just saw. Wari ninamo. Empe. Tere mi motara rupi. Awiyebe. Awiyebe.
Destroying these tribes gives me no pleasure, but I cannot let any allies of Kunhambebe stand if the Merkazar to survive.
Wari ninamo.
Even at the edge of death, I will never regret my alliance with Kunhambebe.
Asokwe kutana. Empe. Embae peri motara. Empe. Tere mi motara se peñara.
Destroying these tribes gives me no pleasure, but I cannot let any allies of Kunhambebe stand if the Merkazar to survive.
Tekasara.
As you defeat the tribes and absorb their resources, you free up my soldiers for new operations. When the enemy has the numbers, a good general knows to divide and conquer.
Awiyebe. Embae peri motara. Tere mi motara rupi.
Ishe Aikokatu.
Empe. Just saw.
Empe. Baepe. Asokwe kotuna. Imba emo yangara. Imba emo yangara.
Embae peri motara.
Splendido!
Just saw.
Nothing beats the effectiveness of a well-aimed cannon. Take these and make short work of Kunanbebe.
Embae peri motar.
Thank the heavens! I am the last survivor of this shipwreck, and I feared I would become its final casualty. Please take me back to the governor's town center.
Se peñara. Tere mi motare Tupi. Embae peri motar.
Destroying these tribes gives me no pleasure, but I cannot let any allies of Kunhambebe stand if the Merkazar are to survive.
My gratitude overflows. I will instruct my shipwrights to give your ships a hefty upgrade.
Even at the edge of death, I will never regret my alliance with Kunhambebe.
Tere mi motare Tupi.
Impressive work! Keep this up, and you'll be king of the jungle before you know it.
Embae peri motar.
The Lord sends relief at last! It is just my luck to escape on the dingiest galley in the fleet.
Embae peri motar. Tere mi motare Tupi. Embae peri motar. Se peñara. Ya so. Embae peri
Se
motar.
peñara.
Empe. Ei. Ikatu emonan. Marampe.
Embae peri motar. Wari minamo.
You have a strategic mind, Arariboia.
When I catch you, I will feed you piece by piece to the snakes, you miserable traitor!
I am not proud of seeking refuge with the Portuguese, but one cannot survive on pride alone. After today, my people have a future once more.
With bravery and skill, and not a little help from the Portuguese cannons, the Maracajá had survived. With their foothold secured, Arariboia drew up plans to strike back at Cunhambebe. Yet he knew he couldn't do it alone. The unlikely alliance with Mãe de Sá had been a success. The Pale Commander had fought viciously, tipping the scales in Arariboia's favor. Without him and his ships, the Maracajá would have been like the stranded fish rotting on the shores of Guanabara Bay. Could de Sá be trusted? For now at least, he seemed to be a man of his word. A warrior in hard metal and soft silk, rather than feathers and tattoos, but a warrior nonetheless. A few days after their victory, de Sá invited him to a formal dinner. Stepping into the fort's mess hall felt like entering a strange new world. Everything was foreign, from the spiced dishes and silver plates to the little spits they used to pick up their food. A new fashion even amongst the Portuguese, de Sá told him. Yet the conversation flowed pleasantly. My translator Anchieta tells me you have a proposal, said de Sá, pausing for me to relay his words in Tupi. But just as Arariboia was a Governor General, our men have sighted French ships in the bay. De Sá dropped his fork. How many cannons? When the answer came, the foreigner went even paler than he already was. The French? Who are they? Arariboia asked. De Sá replied in hushed tones. They are to us what Cunhambebe. Arariboia had assumed all Europeans were the same, but the arrival of the French made him realize his error. They had come to wrest control of the coast from the Portuguese no matter the cost, or so their commander boasted. Nicolas Duron was the very caricature of the adventurous European. He spoke in melodies, and his gleaming rapier danced through the air with each dramatic gesture. Arariboia had known many such men. All bark, no. Don't let his theatrics fool you, de Sá warned him. Duron is a dangerous man. He has fought the Ottomans across Europe and Africa, and now he has come to establish a colony he calls France Antarctique. The names of these distant peoples and places meant little to Arariboia, but de Sá's concerned look spoke volumes. That makes my plan even more urgent, Arariboia said. He presented his proposal with such speed and conviction that I found myself scrambling to keep up with the translation. The Maracajá and the Portuguese each faced an enemy intent on their destruction. Divided, they would both lose. A long-term alliance, a partnership, if you will, between the Portuguese and the Maracajá. That is my proposal. The Governor General eyed him with an expression that was impossible to read. Perhaps in that moment he saw Arariboia's true character. This was not a man content to be a mere tool. Then a partnership it will be, came his reply. Your tribe will help rid these Frenchmen from my doorstep, and in return, I will lend you my full support against Cunhambebe. From this day forth, the alliance was sealed with a handshake. Yet, the waves of fate rarely allow for smooth sailing.
You call this untamed jungle a colony, de Sá? Bonté divine! Since you're clearly not using it, I will relieve you of your burden. From this day on, this land shall be known as France Antarctique!
Duran is as pompous as a peacock, but he's no fool. We must drive him off the beach before he can dig in, or we may never be rid of him.
What are we to do? Those hulking French sea monsters damage our fishing ships, and now we cannot feed our families.
Baepe. Au yavete. Pusukara.
Emba e peri botar. A soco e cutana. Tere mi motara rupi. Emba e peri botar. A soco e cutana.
Nhangara. Mba emonhangara.
Empe.
Urakatesara.
Empe. Ah, oui, ebe. Ah, oui, ebe. A soco e cutana. Tere mi motara a soco e cutana. Ah, oui, ebe. Empe. A soco e cutana. Ah, oui, ebe.
Baepe. Auie.
Emba emo yangara. Emba emo yang emba.
Ah, oui, ebe. A soco e cutana. Tere mi motara e
Emonhangara. Mba emonhangara. Mba emonhangara. Mba emonhangara. Baepe. Mba emonhangara. Mba emonhangara.
Do you think I would just land without a plan, Dessa? While you were busy courting the Marakaja losers, I found myself a new friend in their conqueror. Look behind you!
When you stooped to ally with the European, you gave me no choice but to do the same. Now let us see who picked the strongest bearded fool!
Nossa Senhora! We do not have the manpower to withstand this attack. Fall back and regroup!
Emba emo
Emba
yangara.
e peri botar. Ah, oui, ebe. Tere mi motara rupi.
Ishe ai kokatu.
Wari nenamo.
Apologies for abandoning you in such a rush. But I had no choice. Now, I'm on my way with a greater army.
Emba emo yangara.
If you can recapture my fort,
Anye.
we can use it as a
Asako
base for
iko
driving
tena.
Durand into the sea.
Emba emo yangara.
Tere mi motara rupi.
We are fighting on two fronts, men. To succeed, we need to slow our enemies down. Torch the French docks and all the supplies they hold.
So, se peñara.
Ba epe. Asako iko tena.
So.
Quiero que sawa. Emba emo yangara. Emba emo yangara. Anye. Emba emo yangara.
Tere mi motara rupi. Emba e peri nenamo.
Baepe. Aiko urakatesara.
Empe. Emba e peri botar.
Bae mongaturansara. Ishe
Bae
mongaturansara. Eikové.
Mba'e mongaturon Sara. Mba'e mongaturon Sara.
I cannot find the
Mbae
words to
peshe
thank you,
kokatu.
but I can show you my gratitude in fresh fish instead.
Empe.
Oh yeah.
You think one surprise attack is enough to take me out, Durant? Think again. Into the fray, man!
Ieta, tere mi motara rupi. Empe.
Eikové.
Mba'e moyangara.
Caçara. Mbae Mongaturonsara.
Empe.
Embae peri potar.
Oh yeah.
Ikatu remoname. Empe. Eikové. Mbaepe. Tecaçara. Tecaçara.
Mba'e moyangara.
Ixé aikokatu.
Mba'e moyangara. Yero que sawa. Mba'epe. Empe. Mba'epe. Yero que sawa. Mba'e moyangara. Mba'e moyangara. Mba'e moyangara. Empe. Ishe aikokatu. Teka Sara. Mba'epe. Verá que tem Sara. Teka Sara. Mba'e moyangara. Empe.
Eikové. Mbaepe.
Verá que tem Sara.
Embae peri potar. Tere mi motara rupi.
Ikatu remoname.
Empe. Asopra. Wari minamo.
Maranhão.
Embae peri sepeñana. ipiri botar. A soque cutana. Ah, we have Ah, we have a soque cutana. A soque cutana. A soque cutana. Tere mi motara rupi.
Empe. Ishe ai kokatu.
Tere mi motara rupi. Se peñara. Emba ese cutana. A soque cutana.
You call that a victory? I was merely testing you, Desa. And now I know what your weaknesses are.
Asokwe kotuna.
We will meet again.
Imba
soon.
emo yangara.
Empe, we have Tere mi motara rupi. Empe. Emba epe kari nenamo. Tere mi motara rupi. Emba epe kari. Emba epe kari. Kiaso.
Fine. Take the fort. A real warrior has no need for walls. Go and make your master happy, you weakling.
France lost its greatest Colchester when you left, Durand. Ah, this is a great victory for us both, Arariboia. The clouds are scattering, and the future looks bright again.
Empe, we have
France Antarctique, Muisca laughed as he toasted Arariboia at their shared celebration. Only a flamboyant Frenchman would come up with such a name. Arariboia chuckled, even though he didn't fully understand Desa's boasting. They had won a small but significant battle, and their alliance had passed its first major test. That was reason enough to celebrate. Ultimate victory was far from certain, though. The pact between Duran and Kunambebe had caught them off guard, and their combined strength remained a frightening prospect. Still, Arariboia and Muisca had something their enemies lacked: trust. Duran would abandon his native allies in a heartbeat if it served his purposes. Meanwhile, Kunambebe despised all Europeans, even if he had stooped to using one to fight another. It was a weakness Arariboia intended to exploit. As we Portuguese like to say, one swallow does not make a summer. A toast to our continued success. The swashbuckling Duran was a loose cannon, and worse, he was armed with enough gunpowder to blow the Portuguese galleons to smithereens. Desa and Arariboia would have to deal with him before they could take on Kunambebe. The Frenchman had not been idle, however. After his defeat on the coast, he had relocated to a small, defensible island. There, he began constructing a formidable stone fortress he called Fort Coligny. Once his cannons were installed, the fort would be nearly impregnable. Arariboia grew restless. The longer we wait, the more prepared our enemies will be. We should strike as soon as possible. If we surprise them, we can dictate the pace of the battle. They readied their men for an attack that very night.
The gunpowder I planted will go off at any moment. Keep quiet and stay vigilant. Once the thunder sounds, we attack.
The way to the fort is open! Charge and give them hell!
We have those fools trapped like rats in a cage! Blow them back to hell!
Se peñara.
The land is blowing us to pieces! Abandon the siege! We must regroup or we will never be able to take this fort!
Ishe Aikokatu. Empe, Pusukara.
Yerokesakara.
My men are shaken after the French counterattack. Keep the enemy off our back while we regroup, then we will strike at Fort Coligny together.
Baepe, Ishe Aikokatu.
Ishe Aikokatu. Empe.
Pusukara.
Ishe Aikokatu. Iberake Tensara.
Eikové. Baepe.
Pusakara.
We were forced to abandon most of our gunpowder and weapons in the escape. We must recapture them before they fall into the wrong hands.
There are kegs of gunpowder spread around the fort. If we destroy them, we can unleash the Frenchmen's own thunder upon them. We have secured the gunpowder cart. Now our allies will be able to train hand cannoneers for the fight.
Yerokesawa. Awiye. Asakwe Kotuna. Emba emo yangara. Emba emo yangara.
Se peñara.
Baepe. Emba emo yangara. Empe. Awiye. Emba emo yangara. Emba Moyangara. Emba Moyangara.
I would happily die to protect my people. But today is not the day I leave this world. Patch me up and get me back in the fight.
Quiero que sawa. Ishea Kokatu.
Mbae Monyangara. Eikové.
Empe. Baepe.
Teka Sara.
Empe.
Aiko Aipoba Eresene. Mbae Monyangara. Mbae Monyangara. Mbae Monyangara. Mbae Monyangara.
Baepe.
Auyabete. Mbae Monyangara.
Those French boats are carrying naval supplies. If
Emba
you can seize their
Moyangara.
cargo, we can use it to
Emba
repair my
Moyangara.
ships.
Emba Moyangara. Emba Moyangara. Baepe. Ba.
Marampe. Empe. Mbae Monyangara. Eikové. Aiko Aipoba Eresene. Mbae Monyangara. Mbae Monyangara.
Excellent work, my friend.
I would happily die to protect my people. But today is not the day I leave this world. Patch me up and get me back in the fight.
Empe. Ishe Aikokate. Empe. Ishe Aikokatu. Mbae Monyangara. Empe.
Ishea Koka.
My ships will commence the bombardment of Fort Coligny on your signal.
Ishea
However,
Koka.
they will need protection against Iran's navy.
Bae Mungaturon Sara. Embae Moyangara. Embae Moyangara.
Empe. Mbae Mongaturon Sara. Eikové. Mbae Mongaturon Sara. Mbaepe. Mbae Mongaturon Sara. Ishe ai kokatu. Urak te Sara.
Tere mi mota. Embai tere mi motara rupi. Awiebe. Wari nenamo. Embai tere motara. Motara. Tere mi motara rupi. Embai tere motara. Tere mi motara rupi. Wari nenamo. Embai tere motara. Awiebe. Embai tere motara.
Baepe. Ishe ai kokatu. Anye. Kesawa. Asako ikotuna. Anye. Empe.
Tere mi motara rupi. Awiebe.
Ishe ai kokatu.
Baepe.
Auyavete.
Mbae Monhangara.
Yero kesawa. Auye. Empe. Ae moyangara.
Nei. Aso quecotane.
Tere mi motara rupi.
Baepe. Asako ikotuna. Auye. Embae moyangara. Embae moyangara. Embae moyangara. Embae mo emba.
Ya so.
Empe. Tecca Sara.
My camp is under attack! Send your warriors at once!
Auye.
Awiebe.
Marampempe. Nei.
Embai tere motara. Embe. Ya so. Tere mi motara rupi. Wari nenamo. Embe. Tere mi motara rupi. Awiebe.
Asako ikotuna.
Déjeme matar, se peñara.
Empe.
Auie.
Mae monga turansara.
Emba e botar. Ya so, déjeme matar, nena. Déjeme matar, Tupi. Emba e botar. Déjeme matar, Tupi.
Baepe. Empe.
Emba e botar. A soco e cutana.
Ecové. Mbae monhangara.
Déjeme matar, Tupi. Emba. Déjeme matar, Tupi.
I would happily die to protect my people.
Baepe.
But today is not the day I leave this world. Patch me up and get me back in the fight.
Tecca Sara.
Ecové. Teca Sara.
Baepe. Quiero que sawa.
Déjeme matar, Tupi. Guari, nena, mo. Emba e botar.
Quiero que sawa.
Ixé e cocatu.
Emba e botar. Déjeme matar, Tupi.
Auie.
E.
Catu.
Emba.
I
Déjeme
would
matar.
happily die to protect my people.
Se peñara.
But today is not the day I leave this world. Catch me up and get me back in the fight.
Attack an enemy
That's
now.
the signal! Rain hellfire on the French fortifications, sailors! But look out for the enemy ships!
Emba e botar. Ya so. Déjeme matar, Tupi. Emba e botar. A soco e cutana.
These wooden forts fall apart as soon as you look at them. Did you build them with rotten driftwood, Durand? Or are you just that shoddy of an engineer?
Another wooden fort crumbles before my brave warriors.
Tere di montare a socque cuttana. Awie, emba di montare. A socque cuttana. Tere di montare a socque cuttana.
Another wooden fort crumbles before my brave warriors.
The French were too occupied with their precious fort to see that we were losing the battle. Fall back, men! We will not waste our lives for this Frenchman's folly.
Another wooden fort crumbles before my brave warriors.
Just saw. A socque cuttana. Sepignana. Emba di. Emba di montare. Menamo. Emba Sepignana. Tere di montare. Guari menamo. Emba tere di montare. Sepignana. Emba Chiasso. Guari menamo. Tere di montare.
Ishea iko moyangar.
Sepignana. Tere di montare. Emba tere di montare. Chiasso. Tere di montare. Guari menamo. Emba tere di montare. Chiasso. Sepignana.
Fort Coligny, Duran's pride and joy, lies in ashes. This is a great victory. I could not have done it without you, Arariboia.
You can keep these burned-out husks if you like, the Tsar. Give them to your native friend. I hear he's still looking for a roof over his head.
It was hard to see today's accomplishments as a victory. Fort Coligny lay in ruins, and Kunambebe's warriors had been driven back, but at a terrible cost. All the Portuguese cannon ships had been sunk. His allies' greatest advantage, their firepower, was now lost. The Tsar had called it a Pyrrhic victory, but Arariboia was too occupied by his gloomy thoughts to ask what that meant. Had he been a fool to ally with the Portuguese? He could have led his tribe into the jungle after they lost their home. Instead, they were fighting and dying for the foreigners in a war that wasn't even theirs. Kunambebe's accusation of traitor echoed in his mind, and for the first time, he began to believe it. Reinforcements are on their way from Portugal, the Tsar told him as they considered their options. I do not know when they will arrive. All we can do is wait. When you are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, there is no escape. When it rains, it pours. And it was certainly pouring for Arariboia and Sa. The relentless Duran had already regrouped at a new fort. Nearby, Kunambebe's army was gathering in greater numbers than ever before. Their target was the crown jewel of the Portuguese colonies, the burgeoning town of Rio de Janeiro. Capturing Rio would spell disaster for both Portuguese and Maracajá. It was all coming to a head. If Mãe Sá was forced to surrender, Arariboia's tribe would not survive. Despite Arariboia's gloom, it was nothing compared to the Sá, who suddenly appeared much paler and older. We have no cannons, few weapons, and fewer men. Our only advantage is the one we create, so let us make one. On days like these, I wish I had your resilience, the Sá replied. I will follow your lead, Chief Arariboia. Bring us our final victory.
Giron has nearly captured Rio de Janeiro. While Jassas strikes back at the French, we must ambush Kunhambebe and take over his base near the city. Take heart, my warriors. Today we will save the Maracajá. The enemy runs away like a scared jungle cat. Let us use this moment to replenish our arrows. Kunhambebe will be back as soon as he has licked his wounds, and we need to be prepared.
Ishe aikokatu. Empe. Pusucara.
Fall back! You may have thrown me off balance, Dasa, but just you wait. Soon, I will unleash the full force of my army.
Auyabete. Tekasara. Tekasara.
Rio is ours once more. Our position in this bay is secure so long as the city stands. Reinforcements are on their way from Portugal. We must hold on until they arrive. Then we shall finally defeat our enemies.
Eikove. Urakatesara. Empe. Aiko aiko aipoba eresene. Mba emonhangara. Mba emonhangara. Mba emonhangara.
Empe. Asoko ikotana.
Ishe aikokatu.
Ishe aikokatu. Yero ke sawa. Asoko ikotana. Auye. Anye. Emba emoyangara.
Eikove.
Verá que tem Sara. Ba epe. Verá que tem Sara. Anye.
Baepe. Empe. Mba emonhangara. Mba emonhangara. Mba emonhangara. Mba emonhangara. Mba emonhangara.
Empe. Auye. Asoko ikotane. Asoko ikotane. Anye. Auye. Yero que sawa. Asoko ikotana que tem Sara. Auye. Ishe aikokatu. Asoko ikotana. Emba emoyangara.
Empe. Tere mi motara rupi.
When my cannon ships are done with Rio, Your
Ba
pitiful
emonyangara.
village will be nothing but a smoldering ruin.
Baepe.
I have no ships to patrol the shore with
Quiero que sawa,
until reinforcements arrive.
Anye.
Send your canoes and protect Rio de Janeiro.
Ishe ay asako ikotuna. Anye. Imba emoyangara. Empe. Auye.
Every last Maracajá will fall to my new fire sticks. When I am done with them, I will carve your traitorous heart from your body.
A French cannon galleon has been sighted. Focus your fire on it, men. The Wanda in Rio is under attack. We must not let it fall.
Ba epe. Ibera que tensar. Ishe ay kokatu. Imba emoyangara. Ba epe. Ibera que tensar. Imba emoyangara.
Empe. Kia só. Tere mi motara rupi. A só kutana.
Empe. Asako ikotuna.
Emba epe. A só kutana. Wari ninamo. Empe.
Ishe ay kokatu. Auye. Mba emonyangara. Eikove. Ishe ay kokatu. Ipoba eresene.
Quiero que sawa. Ba epe. Tekasara. Anye. Imba emoyangara. Ishe ay kokatu. Asako ikotuna. Imba emoyangara. Quiero que sawa. Auye. Imba emoyangara.
Mba emonyangara.
Empe.
Baepe.
A French cannon galleon has been sighted. Focus your fire on it, men.
Mba emonyangara.
Emba epe. Kutana. Ebe.
If we build and maintain a fort on this island, the stockpiles will soon run dry.
Ishe ay kokatu. Empe.
Ishe ay kokatu.
Anye. Imba emoyangara. Imba emoyangara.
Empe. Se peñara. Tere mi motara rupi. A só kutana. Emba epe. Tere mi motara rupi. Empe.
Quiero que sawa.
Frenchmen! Why have my cannons stopped working? You must send me more of your thunder powder.
I will do no such thing, you pompous wastrel. You are killing more of your men than the Portuguese with those cannons.
Baepe.
Ishe ay kokatu. Asako ikotuna.
The reinforcements are here! Now, let us go on the offensive and repay our enemies in kind.
Mbae Monhangara. Mbae Monhangara. Mbae Monhangara. Eikové.
The reinforcements brought plenty of guns and ammunition from Europe. Take these muskets and give them to your best marksman, Arariboia. I'm sure you can put them to good use. A French cannon galleon has been sighted! Focus your fire on it, men! I cannot part with my cannons while the French Navy threatens our city. If you help me sink their fleet, I will give you some of my gun.
Oh yeah.
Empe. Empe. Yes, sir.
Mbae Mongaturonçara.
Deve me montar a Tupi. Se penhara. Embae per só. Embe. Embae per
Ishe ay kokatu.
Tere mi motara Tupi.
Yero que sanye. Mbae Monhangara.
Tere mi motara Tupi. Asokwe kutara. Wiebe. Embe. Asokwe kutara. Wiebe.
Baepe. Aiko Aipobaiara. Sene.
Tere mi motara Tupi. Embe.
Ishe ay kokatu. Mbae Mongaturonçara.
I cannot believe my eyes. The majestic French navy, sunk by canoes and rickety Portuguese dinghies. You will both pay for this. Rio will burn.
My men have wheeled the cannons off our ships. Take them and blast the grin off Kunambebe's face.
Ishe ai kokatu. Eikove.
Tere mi motare socque
Beh,
puttana. Emba e pegnara.
Eikove. Aiko ai poba
Tere mi
eresen.
motare rupi. Ah oui, beh. Tere mi motare rupi. So. Se pegnara.
You never cease to impress me, my friend. No French supply ships will be able to sail past this fort.
Mba Emonyangara.
Ba epe,
Aiko ai pauiabete.
ishe ai kokatu. Empe, auie.
Ishe ai kokatu. Aiko ai poba eresen.
Empe. Ah oui, socque puttana.
Eikove. Mba Emonyangara.
Tere mi motare rupi. Ah oui, beh. Tere mi motare rupi. Ah oui, beh. Socque puttana. Ah oui, beh. Empe. Wari ninamo. Empe. Se pegnara. A socque puttana. Socque puttana. Tere mi motare rupi. Wari ninamo. Empe. Tere mi motare puttana. Ah oui, beh. Emba e te motare. Wari ninamo. Tere mi motare rupi. Se pegnara. Emba e te puttana.
Mbaepe. Mbae Monhangara.
Empe. Sepeñana. Embaepe eripotar.
Mbae Monhangara. Mbae Monhangara. Mbae Monhangara. Mbae Monhangara.
Ishe Aikokatu.
Mbaepe.
There is no glory to be found in a farce like this! To hell with you all! And to hell with this barbarian continent!
Empe. Tere mi motara rupi. Empe. Embaepe eripotar. Embaepe eripotar. Empe. Ya so. Tere mi motara rupi. Wari ninamo. Tere mi motara rupi. Ya so. Embaepe eripotar. Ya so. Tere mi motara rupi. Embaepe eripotar. Wari ninamo. Tere mi motara rupi. Sepeñana. Embaepe eripotar.
The protector of the Tupi is humiliated, while the traitor is rewarded for his treason. I should have killed you when I had the chance, Arariboia. Then I could have let the Europeans fight it out before crushing them both.
My warriors, rejoice! With our enemies vanquished, we can at last return to our homeland. This is a glorious day for the Maracajá.
The alliance between Arariboia and Mãe de Sá, which once seemed so fragile, had proven to be as resilient as Brazil would. Not one to linger on his failures, Nicolas Duran picked up the pieces of his broken expedition. As he set sail for new horizons, he denounced his former ally. If only I had allied with a man like Arariboia and not this Kunambebe, this anchor around my neck, then everything would have been different. Kunambebe, for his part, fled into the jungle as soon as the tide turned. Arariboia did not pursue him. The humiliation of his nemesis and the return of his people to their home was vengeance enough. Mãe de Sá praised Arariboia's efforts to the Portuguese king, who rewarded the chieftain by knighting him for his services. The Maracajá received written guarantees that their homeland would forever be theirs. In gratitude, Arariboia adopted the faith of his allies. When he laid down his bow for the final time, Arariboia felt a profound sense of relief. He had saved his people from destruction. After so many years in exile, they could finally rest and rebuild, knowing that their children would grow up in peace on the island they called home.